What is up, y'all? It's your boy Jermaine Event, main on MMA, and today we are checking out a video from our boy GeeKay about Conor McGregor. As you guys can see, our boy Conor recently popped out into public again, doing Conor McGregor things. BKFC Knucklemania 5 was this past weekend in Philadelphia. Jeremy Stephens defeated Eddie Alvarez in the main event. Pretty good fight. I don't know. It's bare knuckle. It is what it is. Eddie kind of quits sometimes. It is what it is. He still probably gets paid more to quit in that fight than I make in like 3 years. All right. So that's a nice quit. You did pretty well for yourself in that effort. But the real talk here is Conor McGregor. All right. Conor McGregor facing off with Jeremy Stephens. It just seemed really awkward for the most part. But let's check this video out from GeeKay about Conor's continued spiral into insanity, and comment throughout and at the end, ladies and gents.
While many consider Conor McGregor to be a shell of his former self, nobody can say that he doesn't work hard, even when that hard work is destroying the reputation he had painstakingly built between the years of 2012 and 2018.
The martial arts life will give you a discipline, will give you dedication, will give you a drive that you won't get nowhere else. So whatever these kids that come in that size with their parents, whatever they decide to do, whether they decide to conquer the martial arts world, the fighting game, or whether they want to go and conquer the business world, whatever they decide to do, training for combat sport, training martial arts will give them that confidence to go and excel in anything.
At one time, people wanted to believe everything that came out of his mouth because it really seemed like he found the cheat code to life. Money, status, fame, and all while marching to the beat of his own drum. Breaking record after record and taking the sport of mixed martial arts to new heights with the same ease and grace that most people tie their shoes or pick up a spoon. His success seemed so effortless that it felt like he had done it hundreds of times before and was just now going through the motions.
A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction and it will become reality.
Man, old school Conor was the man.
The guy is a powdered up maniac to the point where it's no longer even a secret, just an accepted fact and an ongoing joke.
Yeah. Oh, cocaine Conor.
But when the joke goes on after the punchline has been said over and over again, suddenly things stop being funny.
To all the victims of sexual assault, I hope my story is a reminder that no matter how afraid you might be, speak up, you have a voice, and keep on fighting for justice. I know this has impacted not only my life, my daughters, my family and friends tremendously, and it's something that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. But now that justice has been served, I can now try and move on.
Even though Conor maintains his innocence after being found liable for the rape of Nikita Hand, and there are some diehard fans that will always have his back, overall this was a huge hit to his public image and he was dropped by several companies, including the one that he practically built in Proper 12. And a big chunk of MMA fans threw him in the same bin that Jon Jones has been in for years. And the scarlet letter of being a racist, whether it's factual or not, will haunt him for the rest of his life. Because even the athletes that bounce back from these types of scandals after being ostracized still found themselves wide open to shots being taken at them years later whenever a media member felt like they
should be wide open for shots being taken. If you do some nonsense like this and then you just try to come back into public, there's a guy, there's a local artist, all right? If you guys don't know, I make hip-hop music. Getting back on the scene, been doing some open mics recently. But back in the day, I used to do it quite a bit. Like, we had a residency, essentially, at this one spot. Anywho, there's this other performer here in town. And some years back, it came out that he was drugging and graping men all over town. I don't mean to laugh, but it's insane. He was drugging and graping young aspiring artists, all these people around town, people who were trying to work with him. Yeah, this happened. They had a mural up of this guy before, like a week before. I'll tell you, you guys, if you guys want to look up the Instagram, it's called Surviving Lex Allen. And there's people who are anonymous, people who are not anonymous. They tell you their whole spiel of being drugged and assaulted by this guy Lex. And they're just open mic, my boy, Mad Static hosts. Shout out to Can I. If you guys are in Milwaukee, check out Can I for your THC infused drinks. And they have hip hop open mics. They have a event space in the back. It's a pretty nice spot. You can get your pre-rolls. Check out Can I. But at there's open mic there every third Thursday of the month. And at the last open mic, that guy, Lex, who most of the people in the room are like, holy shit, that's the guy who was drugging and assaulting everybody. He's just hanging out. He even performed at the open mic. He performed. And me and all my people are like, holy shit. Holy shit, he's here. Oh my God, I don't understand. He should have been booed, but it was a good performance. I'm not gonna lie, man.
A soundbite.
Some of your critics would say, you know, there's a race for mayor. We know you're a convicted rapist. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that?
So interesting because you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit.
Hey,
with that comment.
Come on.
No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit.
You know, we're doing live TV.
Hey, I don't care. What are you gonna do about it?
All right.
No, because you're a piece of shit.
All right.
You really have to.
What
are you gonna do about it?
Wrap up this interview. Thank you for coming in.
And make no mistake, whether he's showing it or not, Conor is in a frenzy over this. Because even though his social media can make you believe that he does everything on his own volition, whenever and however he feels like, Conor McGregor
I wouldn't want to
is
be
no
at that
longer
party.
just a man.
That seems like
He's
the
a
lamest
brand.
party
And while he's
ever.
the public
Ugh.
face of that brand, there's a chorus
Ew.
of people tirelessly working behind the scenes to steer him in a carefully calculated direction. Get an invite to this show. Take a picture with this guy. Go to
where's Exhibit performing? I mean,
this.
he's at an Exhibit concert in what, like 2024? What Exhibit concert? What Exhibit concert? Was it at the Braids?
City and have a meal at this restaurant, but make sure to get the sign in the background. It's all meticulously planned to maximize exposure and keep his name in the headlines. And the income and job stability of these background people is directly affected by how Conor is perceived by the public. Crazy, unhinged, but entertaining they can work with. A full-blown rapist, not so much. That's why he all of a sudden began to flaunt his Christianity after being this guy for years.
Me and Jesus are cool. I'm cool with all the gods. Gods recognize gods.
And that's also why, before the case could gain any more public attention, he did his best to deflect with a public fight announcement against Logan Paul. I mean, what better way to get in everyone's good graces again than to beat up a guy that's famous for being hated? It worked for one of the most unlikable people on the planet in Dylan Dennis. And I'm not saying that a large chunk of the public hates Dylan Dennis as much as they hate rapists, but I mean, stop me if I lied. But the most enticing part about this fight was that it was actually plausible, not just empty words, as both Conor and Logan are under the TKO umbrella, the company that owns both the UFC and the WWE.
So they're all under the same umbrella.
Yeah, it could have happened.
Very easy to get done. That's a thing that I don't think would be a hurdle. It's not like trying to do Mayweather-McGregor. There were a ton of hurdles in trying to make that happen. Mayweather-McGregor was a thing that ended up happening, but it took a hell of a long time to get there, and the main stumbling block, if you will, was UFC and Showtime coming together. There isn't really any of that here. They're literally the same company. for all intents and purposes.
But I seriously doubt that Conor ever intended to box Logan Paul. This had PR move written all over it. First of all, he knew that Dana White would be fully against the idea, and while they could technically go over his head by appealing to the bosses at TKO, the risk of Conor losing this match, which in this current state of his was much greater than 0%, and the potential damage that it would do to the UFC brand made this a near impossibility, even with the $250 million payday that the Mbani family was supposedly offering. Having Tyron Woodley get flatlined by a Paul brother was one thing, but having that
#1 draft pick for the GFL, ladies and gentlemen, Tyron Woodley,
the most recognizable face of the sport, would be devastating. And you can tell how little thought Conor really gave it when he ran into Logan and Jake at the presidential inauguration. Not only did he seem barely coherent with a frozen Botoxed face that made it look like it was physically painful for him to smile, he was more bloated, worn out, and glassy-eyed than he had ever been in the past, confirming that the trial had a much greater effect on him than he cared to show.
It's all sweet here, it's all sweet here, yeah. Well, you kept your mouth shut, you did. I thought we were going to get the first down. You get very quiet.
What did you think the best course of action was for that?
You were giving all this stain and that. You're f***ing control with the WWE as well. But I don't be giving all this mega snip.
I didn't hear the last 5 seconds.
Yeah, I didn't hear the last 5 seconds.
Bring it home for me.
It's 8 a.m. How?
Yeah, how?
This is the real deal, yeah? In front of you, you know
Jesus.
that. You know that, bro. So we'll look careful, do it.
He's crazy.
190, 195. He was sick. He was sick over it, yeah. He was sick.
I'm sick.
You're sick. Listen, here's the thing. I'm going to stop the head off the two Eos and KSO.
How you getting clowned by the Logan, by the Paul brothers? How is Conor McGregor looking crazy talking to the fucking Logan to the Paul brothers, man? Cocaine is one hell of a drug. They're like, it's 8 a.m. Just Jesus, it's crazy.
He was on mixers to me. You understand that? Side jobs. A little side job.
No, you can't even do your main job. How you gonna do a side job?
You know, that's what I'm afraid of November.
He was also weirdly friendly, considering that Jake Paul had said some horrible things about him and his family in the past.
Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now, or maybe you're off because you're sick of your wife. I mean, she's a 4, Conor. You could do a lot better.
This was a man that was clearly much more worried about other things. And to be in such an obviously inebriated state at a presidential event is so mind-blowing that it might be on par with Tyrone Biggums proposing to his girlfriend with a crack rock. But like I said in the beginning, the one thing you can't take away from Conor is hard work, so he quickly reappeared in Philadelphia to promote BKFC Knucklemania. Now say what you will, maybe with Kensington right around the corner, Philly just has the better plug, but this was one of the best promos I've heard in years.
May we all bleed in the honor of Philadelphia's rich fighting history. Yeah. May we as Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships organization, the alien of combat sport, rise above the night sky and rain down blows viciously and prove our worth against any deniers. May local boy and former UFC lightweight world champion, former Bellator world champion, shut this man up over here, Jeremy Stevens, who's coming in here to Philadelphia.
Yeah, everybody was against Jeremy.
Philadelphia on this fighting, on this great sporting weekend, and trying to take you out, Eddie. This is as big a fight as it gets, with world title fight implications. Like I said, combatants, turn your knuckles to knives. Bleed in the honor of Philadelphia's rich fighting history and show the people what Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is about.
And Conor must have not slept for 72 hours afterwards because he looked absolutely zooted all throughout the event. Not that anyone expected anything less, but there's just something about BKFC that seems to trigger every demon that Conor has inside of him.
Floyd, you little you're right, you're doing bad conversations, trying to get a boxing match at 155. Fight me my way. I'm the A side. You owe your out. Bare Knuckle, McGregor Mayweather, 170 pounds. Let's go, baby. Take off the gloves and fight.
And it seems like every time we see Conor, he's more and more unhinged. I didn't think it could get any worse the last time I made a video about it, but here we are 3 months later. According to Dana White, he's supposed to come back to the UFC sometime later this year, but even if he does make it, what is that actually going to look like? Can he even stop doing what he does for long enough to get through a proper training camp? Considering the last time he tried, he was literally smelling beer to hold him over, it seems doubtful. I don't know what this year has in store for Conor McGregor, but it's off to a crazy start already. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell.
Shout out to GeeKay for a dope video about Conor, man. It's crazy to see it. The descent of a once great mixed martial artist in Conor McGregor. It's insane to see how the mighty have fallen. It's sad. Man, watching him get clowned on that bus by the Paul brothers while they're laughing like, oh, like, how is this? It's 8 a.m. How? And like, he's just going off, oh, this guy was sick. Jake was sick. And he's like, oh, I'm sick. Like, they're all like clowning this dude, man. It's crazy, man. Once at the top of his game in this sport of mixed martial arts, people actually thought he was going to beat Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. He's at the top of his game. All right. He's at the top of his game. People, for some reason, thought he was going to beat Floyd in a boxing match. He could barely beat Nate Diaz. But you guys thought he could beat Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. He's at the top of his game. And now we see just this coked out monster who I didn't even realize, man, it's 8 o'clock. This is 8 o'clock in the morning. He's coked out of his mind. Logan's like, I didn't catch that the last 5 words, and he's just like rambling off so fast, mumbling, moving around like a crackhead, dude. He looks like a fucking crackhead. Trust me. I've seen it. I seen it. He looks like a crackhead. But when you got that kind of money, like, what can you really do? He is the bread. As a once great man once said, that once great man being Conor McGregor, they're saying I'm toast, but that means I'm still the bread, ladies and gentlemen. And he is the bread. He is making the money here. His family is now, you know, generational wealth based off of his actions and the things that he does. And it seems to bring him more money the wilder he's acting. But it wasn't even mentioned in this video, but he's got a new civil case, a new sexual assault civil case from the woman that said he assaulted her in the bathroom at the Miami Heat basketball game. I don't know if we ever see him fight in the UFC again. He's talking about fighting Jeremy Stevens at BKFC. I doubt that ever happened. I don't even know if I want to see this man fight anymore. All right. It might be over for Conor. I think he's lucky if he sees 40. All right. I think he's lucky if he sees 40. Maybe I'm crazy, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Go ahead and go give GeeKay a like, give GeeKay a subscribe. Shout out to GeeKay. But let me know what you guys think about Conor in the comments. Do you think he has gone too far? Or do you think that he can make himself back, bring himself back to sobriety at some point and maybe even get back to fighting? If you think that could happen, let me know in the comments. Ladies and gents, thank you guys for being here once again. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I will see you guys when I see you. I'll holla.